Chicago warfare. That is a good one. All right. Let him speak.
That muscle memory turns into a neural pathway, which says wrist, elbow, shoulder, lower back. That's right.
That's right.
That's
For reference, this is Tim Kennedy in a 360-degree shoot house.
Oh, yes.
So there are going to be some wild tactics displayed and taught by the instructor. The instructor is on the left, and Tim Kennedy is on the right.
Man, we are in heaven right now.
Also, if you guys want me to pause at any point, just yell and I'll stop the video.
bring the audio up on that just a little.
I can, yeah.
Pleasure of coming out to see one of my old commanders, Travis Warlock, and we're at his training facility, ATAC, in the beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, can't question divine creation when you're standing.
Okay, so this is an advertisement. So it's an advertisement for this place that they're at.
Essentially, yes, because he even mentions it later on in the video that he's only here for like a couple hours. So they literally run through the course, film a video, and then leave.
And they're old friends.
And well, yes, they've met for the last like 13, 14 years. So.
And out here. So what is ATAC? What do you do here? And why is this different than regular firearms industry and flat ranges?
First, Tim, thanks so much for coming out, brother. Appreciate you so much.
All
Good
right.
seeing you after
Awkward
16
hug.
years.
It's
Anyway,
good.
here's what we do.
They're going to kiss.
You know what's funny is Tim always looks like that chill guy meme. He always has his hands in his pockets. He's just like has that dumb
I'm just
smile.
a chill guy.
You know that likes to carry grenades, you know?
You know that car that was all rusted out in the intro?
Mm-hmm.
That was the equivalent relevance of Tim Kennedy's tactical experience that we're about to see. Just rusted old 2010 trash. That's what we're about to see right here.
Yeah, it's weird body language, isn't it? Yeah, he just leaves his hands in his pockets and like I'm an awkward guy. That's something I might do. But Tim Kennedy's like, he's a speaker. He does all sorts of things. So
Do out here at ATAC, we've taken the firearms training industry for civilians and broken it apart and tried to prioritize what is the most important thing for civilians who don't have body armor, extra ammo, arm backup, medical backup, or qualified immunity. And that is to strip it down to what is most important.
Hold on, pause.
Which is, in my opinion, is
Chat. Everybody comment. Do you own body armor? Because this guy is so out of touch that's talking right now.
To be fair to him, to steelman his position, I believe he's talking about us just out in the wild. Because obviously,
he's talking about the average person. He is. You'll see later. He is trying to get in new shooters who don't have any real training.
Right, which is a problem. This is going to be a problem later on when he starts to get into some of his weird tactics type stuff. But I do think that the average person is going to be I think he's talking about like if you're just out and about on a random day, you're not going to have body armor. You might have a tourniquet at the most medical you carry on you, the average person, and you're going to have your gun and an extra mag, and that's basically it. So I think that's what
I don't know I'm not sure how he's framing it. I guess I missed that part. I didn't know if he was saying I'm going to work or the gym or if he's saying whatever, right?
Well, yeah, because I don't think he's saying, because we're not carrying it for a living, right, as a civilian. Like when I go into work for a delivery job, I have my gun on me, but I'm not wearing body armor underneath my sweatshirt. Although in some neighborhoods, maybe I should, right?
Right.
It's not to be shot versus putting all our eggs in one basket, just focusing on shooting the threat. So what we do out here is we looked at the firearms industry and what it primarily has, and that's just basically one directional ranges shooting at paper targets with hand cannons requiring hearing protection that essentially just trains you to be deaf and not incorporate what you're hearing into your decision making. Decision making is also an imperative portion of what we're doing out here because we put live guns or cell phones and guns in our target mannequin's hands so that you have to see and make an armed judgment on the move. Now, the range out here is 360 degrees, structured for moving and shooting, and armed.
We are going to get into this later, but there is a reason why he's very awkwardly holding the pistol out at arm's length, one-handed, with a laser activated.
Sus.
Yeah, which it looks great in video games. This actually looks like one of the old Resident Evil games, I think 1 and 2, where it's the camera is fixed and then you have to walk through an environment, right?
Dude, yeah. I'm not sure what's happening.
Judgment, tactical judgment is what we are trying to push consistently because we believe the American citizen has really two obstacles in front of them, and that's a literal threat and a legal threat. And if you don't make a correct judgment, and you shoot someone that is not armed, that has a cell phone, you might as well mortgage your house and get the best defense attorney you can find, because you're going to be running into some heavy legal actions.
Yeah. Your and Ashley's background, like I had the pleasure of working with you. You had special operations nearly your whole entire
There it
career.
is.
Prior enlisted, then went to OTC, and then went back to special operations
That's
again.
right. Yeah.
So you've done this your whole entire adult life.
For the most part, yeah, absolutely.
And out here bringing out what size groups?
So we do, if we have a family, mother and father and older children, we'll do 4, but primarily we're just reducing it down to 2 people. And that is so we can have one-on-one instruction throughout the day. You got to have it on a 360 range with as many rounds as we're pushing. Yeah, absolutely. So my wife was.
I don't know if I would ever really feel comfortable walking through like a random person on a 360 range and having them swing around a gun in front of.
Okay.
You kind of have like everything that you need here at ATAC to conduct training at high levels, vehicles, obviously everywhere.
Yes,
So
absolutely. So we do structure defense and working in and around and shooting in and around walls, hallways, structures, corners, as well as vehicles. We shoot from inside a vehicle out, outside of a vehicle in, from vehicle to vehicle. We
Waste
shoot
of
glass
time.
under the vehicle. We take anywhere you can utilize a firearm owned in and around a structure or a vehicle. We do that.
nice. All right, well, we'll get in. We'll start training and find out way more about this approach and methodology to shooting. And why it's
Methodology.
desperately needed in 2024. Let's go.
This is what's needed in 2024, guys. That's what my paycheck told me.
Now, I don't think that any of this should be taken seriously. However, I do think it would be absolutely fun to be able to run something like this with a little
heck yeah.
suppressed 22 and a laser. I mean,
Well,
that seems like the ultimate.
This seems like fun. Like if somebody said, hey, do you want to go through a house and shoot a bunch of targets with a suppressed 22 with your buddies? It's like, heck yeah, of course. That'd be awesome. But
But
if
it's not
somebody's
being
like, hey,
marketed
do you
that
wanna-
way.
Right. It's like, but hey, this is real training. This is what you need. Also, it's $1,200. And if you don't take this, you're going to die. And I'm doing this to like complete people that can't even shoot yet. Right. Because like he talks about that, he markets it to like, husbands and
New.
wife couples, people with older kids and stuff like that. It's like, these people don't know how to shoot. They don't need to know like advanced CQB tactics. And we'll get into the tactics later, but it doesn't even look good from that aspect either.
At 360 degrees live fire range, Travis does all of their training with suppressed 22 caliber firearms. They use the crawl, walk, run method, meaning they start slow to ensure everyone gets the motions down safely. As the trainees and attendees get more comfortable with the drill, they increase the speed and the intensity to simulate real scenarios, as we will see later in the video.
Okay, that's not how
Typically.
that's not how a training progression works. You do the same speed that you would do for realsies. You just go dry, blank, live, or dry, live. So for him to say you're going to crawl, walk, run, I think he's trying to say the right thing, but he's off the mark a little bit here.
Well, he's also got to deal with toddlers, right? We got to get the toddlers going because, it's a family affair.
Yeah, but that's not how they're right. We're saying back to the marketing. This is a shoot house. You to defend yourself. One-man CQB, which is bullshit in and of itself, right? You can't do one-man CQB. If you do, it's a good way to get shot in the face by people knocking on your door saying sheriff's department that are not the sheriff's department that are going to kick down your door with 3 of their buddies and shoot you in the face, right? So them saying they're going to do a shoot house and then doing a crawl, walk, run. Well, that's not how you do it. You do a run, just dry, blank, live or dry, live.
I'm fine with him taking a beginner's level approach to it. But again, this is just such worthless training for somebody that can't even shoot yet. Right. And we're going to get into his shooting techniques here in a second that are hood certified.
Most firearms training, instructors will line you up in front of an arm paper.
And yes, as somebody mentioned, they are both using
FNs.
Yes, and 22s.
For targets such as that, and they're going to start working you from the foundation up. And that if we have a target with their finger on the trigger pointing at us, why would I want to stand upright and motionless and mirror the very target that all Americans train against, upright and motionless, pointing a gun back at them?
Oh no!
And does this not replicate the insanity of a 19th century duel between 2 idiots pointing guns at each other?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why would we do that?
Not at all.
It's not even remotely close.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of back in the day when they used to teach students to sidestep, to point their plate at the target and sidestep like 1 foot to the next, 1 foot to the next, like a lateral step.
Yeah.
That's what in 2013 when I joined, that was what we used to. That's what the people taught you. You know what I mean? To sidestep. That way your plate is presented to the target. That is the equivalent of what this guy is saying in 2024.
You are very close because he is just about to make that argument.
Oh my God! I knew it.
But this is how military and police train. And the reason military and police train like this is because we have body armor. So it's always opened at the side. So I want to take the plate, face the threat. Now I've already ripped my name off and stuck it on the wall and grabbed a number, which means.
Now M26 says if you can find cover, why not? Well, yeah, of course. I wouldn't just stand there and like do my draw and like, all right, point, bang, bang, bang. You know, there's different ways to do it. But yeah, it's the idea that we're now gonna start running sideways while pointing at people to reduce our hitbox, I guess, is the point of that.
Yeah, at 7 feet, everyone's a USPSA champion. Everyone's a grandmaster at 7 feet. Like everyone wins or loses.
I'm moving to the sound of gunfire. I'm willing to make this sacrifice. But as a civilian, no body armor, not a lot of ammo. There's no armed backup coming. I don't have any medical backup to do on call or pre-planned. And I don't have qualified immunity in case I miss this guy and hit Granny in the background.
See, that is why you shouldn't miss. That is why you should practice to a very high standard.
He said, get good.
Yeah, essentially. It's like, well, get good, and then everything else kind of doesn't matter as much, right?
Where's the bunny hopping tutorial in this fucking...
So he's saying be accountable for your rounds, yet we're gonna do a crawl, walk, run because we don't trust our people. This is great, dude.
Yeah.
So doing this is just risk adverse. Very much not risk adverse, but accepting risk, seeking it. So, and this is where we say, wouldn't this be suicidal to teach somebody to draw against a target at this point in the gun at them? So if we don't want to move toward the threat or directly away from it because it's just counterintuitive to do that, and it leaves us side to side, then first thing we do is work on moving marksmanship. And it basically looks like this, is that there's my direction of movement. And what I do is I start to introduce my third truth and just want you to consider it, right? And this is all one-handed operation.
What? Hold on. What is the third truth?
We haven't even gotten the first two yet.
I'm speaking my truth. You listen.
What is happening, dude?
When I speak, you listen.
It's just about to get good.
Truth in chat. Everybody post the third.
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't expecting that shit.
My third truth. Like,
oh.
Well, I feel like the editor, he was going through all this footage, right? And the guy said his first and second truth, and the editor was like, "Nah, that's retarded. Let's just stick with the third one."
oh
right?
my God.
Hear the other two.
Like even the editor was like, "Dude, this is so gay."
Dude, I'm about to break out the whiskey with that one. Hold on. Here we go.
Introduce my third truth and just want you to consider it, right? And this is all one-handed operation. And that if I have the gun in the hand between myself and my threat, it allows me to use this crazy rotator cuff, which can go all the way over here or all the way back to the coffee cup in my upper.
Yeah, that's how an arm works. Sir.
What? He's talking
This
about
crazy rotator cuff. Whatever the fuck they call it. Damn.
Upper and lower torso stay aligned as they're supposed to athletically because I can move, reduce my profile, and we're trained to trip going forward to catch ourselves, but not crab walking or sideways. So I put the gun in the hand between myself and the threat, look at where I'm going to go, and this is all on lasers.
Oh, no.
At close range. So I take a step, consider where the gun is, look, pull the trigger, hit the target. Take a step, consider where the laser is, and I'm building muscle memory as every time the laser's on the target.
I'm pretty sure this just gave Travis Haley cancer. Listening to him talk about this.
Did he just advocate for basically doing a negligent discharge? Or is he saying he's not going to look where the gun is pointed?
No, I think he's talking about like Chicago warfare. That's what I'm seeing right now.
He's aware of where he's going, and he's using a laser. So then when he steps, he looks and shoots so that everything's like balanced. But the whole thing is just nonsense.
I line up the shot, and then I take a step and shoot.
If at any point as an adult you're talking about using a Viz laser for anything other than trying to lollipop your IR laser to your Viz for a quicker zero with your IR laser. If you're ever talking about a Viz laser for anything other than that, you've lost the plot, dude. This is why I drink.
Consider it, right? I start to introduce my third truth and just want you to consider it, right? And this is all one-handed operation. And that if I have the gun in the hand between myself and my threat, it allows me to use this crazy rotator cuff, which can go all the way over here or all the way back to the coffee cup, and my upper and lower torso stay aligned as they're supposed to athletically, because I can move, reduce my profile, and we're trained to trip going forward to catch ourselves, but not crab walking or sideways. So I put the gun in the hand between myself and the threat, look at where I'm going to go, and this is all on lasers at close range. So I take a step, consider where the gun is, look, pull the trigger, hit the target. Take a step, consider where the laser is, and I'm building muscle memory as every time the laser's on the target, that muscle memory turns into a neural pathway, which says wrist, elbow, shoulder, lower back. Ah, that's right what right looks like. Now, we also do level gun out here, which means I don't tip the gun down or up. Just like taking your finger off the trigger, it creates.
As soon as he does that, he points the gun at the ground.
Did he flag himself too? Like, what just happened?
There are some crazy swings inside of this shoot house by both him and Tim Kennedy that are just like, if I was the instructor in there, I would not feel comfortable.
It looked like he flagged
Fuck
his
the
foot for no
instructor.
reason.
There's a cameraman, dude.
Oh, there is also a cameraman in here as well. Yes.
Lawman
I
Land's
know
brother.
cameraman never cameraman never dies.
That
but-
video.
John Miller says he took this out of Equilibrium. That is what it reminds me of. Yes, the gun kata in that is hilarious.
Bro, he literally took a step, fired around, took another step, fired around, and it was like, all right, we got to be moving quick so they don't get a good target acquisition on us. So I'm guessing in a little bit he's going to sprint across the hallway.
Yeah, they're both going to do it. So let's let it play out.
That's the walking fire doctrine that he learned about back in World War I.
Yeah, exactly.
So we use
That's
level
not
gun,
what
which
walking
means pull the
fire
gun
doctrine
back,
is.
come out from behind the cover, and I start shooting and moving as I go. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and lock and load your first 10-round magazine. And here's what we're going to do is just move from right to left. Left hand. Good. Nice work. Good, well done. Nice. Beautiful.
So yes, he is transitioning hands around each corner. So he's going from right hand to left hand to right hand to left hand, like a Jason Segel movie.
He must have taken some tips from GBRS. We're going to switch shoulders because that's definitely relevant.
Dude, the fact that he... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
The fact he was trying to liken this to walking fire doctrine from like World War I is like none of this looks like any of that. That's in reference to like submachine guns and crossing open terrain. It has nothing to do with any of this silly shit. And even then, it's so out of date. Like the fact he'd even bring it up is insane.
Oh no, that was me. That was me, dude.
Oh well, okay. I was confused.
I was making
He said that in the video. Or
he did say walking fire, but I said walking fire doctrine from World War I.
Oh, okay. I'm retarded. Never mind. Go on. I thought that was him who said World War I, and you said it at the same time.
No. Yeah, it sounded like it came from the video, but it was just Richard.
Okay.
Perfect timing on my
Nice.
part.
Good transitions. Excellent. Beautiful.
Why is he switching hands?
Well, I don't get what the point of this is for. Are you like pretending to engage like 4 targets in these bays? And like they're so close that, I mean, you could just engage, move much faster than this one-handed nonsense. I don't get the point of one-handed shooting this at all.
Well, we learned the other night that he can't engage, move. He has to shoot while walking.
That is true. Yeah, we watched his other video the other night, 2 days ago, where he loses a shooting competition to a CrossFit guy. So the damage, Jeremy says, someone's getting sued for giving me cancer. I'm sorry.
Fantastic. Good.
That's fun.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
No, I'm taking a.
Like, no, we don't like that.
Dude, we will go over the comments on this video because the comments are good.
Oh, dude.
It's always gold.
Every
Now-
single person just I don't know if I found one positive comment on that video.
I
On
do agree that
Tim
this.
Kennedy's channel.
I do agree that this is probably very fun to do, but zero practicality whatsoever, and that's what bothers me. Like it looks like it would be a wonderful time to go and do, just hang out with the boys, shoot some suppressed 22s, and just turn it into an absolute carnival, basically, right? Set up some balloons and shit, pop some golf balls, have some real fun with it. But no, they're treating this as a real life or death training exercise, and it's just
Right, and that's the weird thing because it's like this situation is like how to defend against 10 people attacking you. I mean, like if this is for like the average civilian person, like this does seem completely like worthless.
No,
it has an
I
identity
disagree.
crisis.
This is when your insurance claim gets denied and you're downtown and you see a CEO. So you're just gonna rack bang, rack bang, rack bang. You guys just don't get it, dude. You guys just don't see the pedigree.
That's actually very good. Yeah.
The pedigree is there. You guys are just not based enough to know that their CEO is all over the place.
I don't know. It just looks fun to me, but it doesn't seem very practical.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Austin, would you spend $1,200 on this?
No, that's incredibly yay.
Agreed.
Crash course, but usually Travis spends a good deal of time with individuals.
Sorry, there was like 1 second there where Tim had a funny look on his face.
No, I'm taking a crash course, but usually Travis spends a good deal of time with individuals running through different drills and teaching them the basics of movements with a firearm. Before moving to the next section, which would be the 360 environment, where things are much faster. And you have to make
holy
quick
flagging.
decisions. Now, this 300.
It has a suppressor on it. I touch my suppressors all the time.
No, I thought Tim was out there.
Oh, no. Tim was still inside the building.
Okay.
As far as I know, he was still inside the
For
building.
some reason, I thought he was just flagging Tim, like doing something like this. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Well, they're cutting it up in ways that probably like makes it look that way. I can't tell whether or not it's I couldn't tell whether or not that was like him being actually flagged or flagging somebody.
You know what's
These
actually
shots are
impressive? Is
We got to get you a screen, Vintage, because you do all these on your phone. So just like put your face right up to the screen. There you
You
go.
know what's impressive is the there's no malfunctions with the 22. So all the 22 ammo is actually cycling. Well, that is actually impressive. That's good training.
Or the failures were added out.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
60 range is truly the gem of the training facility. Think of it like a square building cut into 9 equal squares, where he has the ability to lift walls directly into the ceiling and change the doors, the windows, the entry points from a corner fed to a center fed to a T intersection. He'd literally change up the structure and flow of it in any type of scenario he wants. You're going to even open it up and put vehicles into the building to simulate roads and shops. It's just a fantastic training.
So why do they do all of the training with lasers? Nobody actually shoots like that. I don't get that aspect of it. Why wouldn't you just shoot the gun how you're going to shoot the gun?
Also, the probability of having a ricochet is so high.
Delta 34 says Alec Baldwin trains here and he has 1 confirmed kill. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, shooting those vehicles in like you could have a ricochet. You know what I mean? Shooting any vehicle that close. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a 22, but still.
I do think the things going into the ceiling is kind of neat, to be honest.
It is. The idea of a 360 shoot house is cool, but I don't get the purpose of like the 22s, the lasers. If it doesn't simulate like how you're actually going to be using your gun, like it's kind of pointless.
So the walls are probably only rated for 22 because.
Well, I'm sure it's still punching through the walls, but so you have to replace the plywood. But I'm sure it's designed to, those areas can just be removed, and then you just replace the plywood every 3, 4, 6 months, whatever it happens to be, right?
Right. So like our shoe houses will be like the exterior will be concrete, and then it'll be like rubber, and then concrete, rubber, and then some sort of drywall. You know what I mean? To simulate for the Army, so that way it's the inside looks like a shootout or a house. But obviously, it catches everything up to 5.56, MA55 Alpha 1, right? So.
Somebody made a good point. I mean, why at that point, why aren't you just using airsoft or simunition?
Yeah, blue guns. Use blue guns, dude.
Because 22 is sweet.
The suppressed 22 is like cool, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I think that there is just more efficient ways to actually like get training out of this because the
safer too.
I'm not. Is simunitions? Do they bounce and ricochet off of cars?
Yeah.
Oh, not simunition like 22 compared to simunition.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's probably cheaper too.
Yeah, 22.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah, D34. If you ever want to come on, you just got to let me know. I'll get you on. Talk about.
I told him to send me an email. I was going to get him on the guest list. We had people in the Discord asking for him.
So,
Yeah.
what is it? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. But Simunition, blue guns. I'm drawing a blank. But the blue bolts and the blue gun, the Simunition the ammunition itself is super expensive compared to 22. So I can see where that could be a problem. Also with Simunition with the blue guns, they get stuck in the barrel a lot. So
yeah, Plastic Guy says blue guns are usually an exercise in malfunction clearing. Yeah.
I mean, they work good for a little bit, but what we've noticed is if you don't, you will get rounds stuck in the actual barrel and they'll stack up. And then if you don't clear and shotgun the gun properly, you could risk blowing your gun up once you go back to live. So Simunition is a huge liability. I can see if he has to cover all this under insurance or something, how 22 would actually be better than Simunition. In some cases, if they're going from, Simunition to live in any sort of place on their compound, right?
Well, and I guess you can get 22 versions or conversion kits of most of your favorite firearms, so you can still use your standard firearms, standard style mags, and whatnot, and get reps in that way too. So.
Location.
All right, brother, here we go.
All right, when you're doing single person CQB, the idea of a singleton room clearing, this is way different than team CQB. So your priorities of work are going to be different than having a stack of dudes behind you where I can look left, he can look right. The opposing person is going to be taking down opposing threats simultaneously. Because of this reshuffle.
See, again, I still just don't get the
laser.
Oh, the one-handed. He's left-handed shooting. He's shooting with his offhand with a laser.
Yeah, I don't get the laser. I wonder if the laser is something for like safety or something where they. Well, only shoot where your laser goes, or I don't know. I'm thinking like super FUD mode right now. Like RSO FUD here.
Of the priorities of works. And because of the lack of support and coordinated taking down of targets simultaneously, you have to do things differently. So, there's a sharp learning curve here. What we're trying to do is teach somebody to process information faster and to be able to prioritize their threats.
There was a hand switch in there.
Yes, he shot a dude and then switched hands in the fatal funnel. So he enters the fatal funnel, shoots a dude with the left hand and switches to the right. That is
and he could have just cleared that guy with the right hand from the doorway.
Yeah, and you can't tell me you're that proficient with your non-firing hand to be able to reload with your non-dominant hand. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, everyone can reload their Glock 19 with their non-dominant, but how efficient are you going to be loading with your left hand all the time? If you're right-handed.
Chamber says that, yeah, he's like halfway in the room, super focused on one target, and then he turns to the left like 5 seconds later. So I'm not sure.
Need to process information faster.
That might actually be close to 5 seconds that he's standing there in view.
And to be able to prioritize their threats as to what's.
So I just don't get the point of this. If you're not going to be like aggressive and actually utilize like the training, like what is the point of making this video?
Why doesn't he have both hands on the gun? Do you know how bad people are with one hand?
I mean, see, that's the thing where it's like, well, it's a suppressed 22, so you don't need both hands on the gun. But in reality, you're not going to have a suppressed 22. You're going to be shooting a 9mm, and you're going to want to be fast, and you're going to want aggressive, and you're going to want to put those shots exactly where you want them, so you don't have a bullet go in a random place, let's say, which might just happen in a minute.
Closer, who can effectively hurt me first, and how and why I'm going to address.
Okay, and that transition right there, the amount of time that it took from him to go bang, 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 and then like the slowest transition ever. Like,
yeah, I muted it, but yeah, he's 5-6 feet in the room already, just engages one, standing there, turns to engage the other one in the slowest manner possible.
The third rule, all right? The third rule.
No, the third truth.
The third truth, goddammit.
Yeah, this whole thing just sketches me out a little bit.
Well, to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how a 3D gun in a hand is so hard to see at close range. And this is what we like to tell people is that, man, paper targets is what we call paper target pandemonium, man. It is going to cause you to fail because you think you're used to seeing a gun on paper two-dimensional, and it always looks the same no matter where you're at. But to train to register to a firearm in a hand, it's a different ball of wax. Now let me start putting black guns and black gloves with black cell phones and we need a gun light in daylight to see it.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Oh my God.
Nice work.
That transition around his face is a little.
Yeah. So for people that have never worked together,
Nice
this is getting
work.
sketchy.
Look
You
at
got
the
to
top
think.
corner.
So with an infantry platoon, you'll have the guys out there. If you're going to go do a raid, or let's say a raid, right? You'll have your security squad and assault squad out there doing what's called glass houses. So you'll have like white tape on the ground or around trees, and you'll be doing what's called a glass house drill all day, like all day long, practicing with your teammates in and around teammates, different order of the stack to avoid any sort of weird confusion. So to have this old dude just following Tim Kennedy as he's waving this pistol all
No, you're
willy-nilly.
missing it, Trench. You're missing the very important thing. Look above the mannequin.
What is above the mannequin? I can't see.
There's a
It's the
dude
guys
standing
he-
there.
Well, so there is a second level in the middle.
Wait, holy shit! Those are
Those are
There's a
legs, bro.
dude right there.
There's a whole crew of people up there.
So,
There's 4 or 5
if you
people up
notice-
on that rail.
If you notice, at sometimes Tim does
Holy
have
shit.
his gun pointed upwards inside the shoot house.
Oh my God.
There are people on the second level. So anytime you see him
Damn.
the muzzle go up, you should be like, there should be warning signs going off.
So we talked about this off camera. Now that I think about this, focus. So in an army shoot house, you will have a red line, like a massive red line, like a no shoot above or no index above this line. It's a no shoot line. So you will specifically brief if there's going to be people on a catwalk above you as you're clearing the building. Those people will be briefed one of two things. Either the people on the catwalk can only be in certain segments to evaluate you at certain points, or the assault squad will at no point ever go to the high ready, right? Or to the ready position. So whatever you call it, right? The high port, the high ready, every branch calls it something different. But whenever you have the gun, the compressed ready, right? Whenever you have the gun pointing to the sky, you will specifically brief, okay, for shoot house purposes, we're just going to compress the gun around teammates. And as the teammate in front of you gets out of the way, you're going to bring the gun up as you come into the fatal funnel. And even for reloads, and now I'm going to go on a tangent for a second, even for reloads, even the lowest ranking private, E1 in the Army knows even to reload, if there's people on the catwalk, you can't old mag out, new mag in, because now obviously you're flagging anyone on the catwalk, right? So that comes down to either, if you're going to have individuals on the catwalk, one, you have to have a red no shoot line for ranges, right? So that way in your brain, as you're coming up to the red line, okay, yeah, oh yeah, I'm in a shoot house, I'm training, don't go above the red line. So
there was somebody basically sitting on the shoulders of old Babushka there.
Yeah, that's a problem. So you have to label it for whatever, a no shoot, right? But if you're going to have people on the catwalk, they need to be on the friendly wall. So if you're going to clear like a corner fed room, so like an L shape, if you're going to enter at a corner, you have to have all friendlies to your friendly side. So as you go in, as guns come down in the fatal funnel, right, your weapon isn't naturally going to flag anybody. And same thing with like a malfunction clearing, right? Tap rack or a remedial. Like you can't have anybody in you can't have anyone on the freaking catwalk, dude. That's wild.
I hope they're wearing body armor.
I hope they're wearing dick
And I
armor.
usually get them.
Body
Without-
armor doesn't cover the shins.
After a few rooms, I'm kind of getting the hang of how Travis wants me to be opening doors, how I'm going to take down opposing threats, the flow of the building. As we work through it clockwise, we go back through it counterclockwise. There's a lot of things that you're trying to process and trying to positively identify who has weapons, who has cell phones, but it is just a ton of fun. Being able to train in an environment like this, that it's so conducive. Like you're not wearing these big, huge earmuffs. Like everything is safe, and it just makes it.
So again, there's another person right up here in the top right corner. It's hard to see, but they are
That's
definitely
stupid,
there.
man. That's wild. And he's supposed to be, so he is a senior NCO. And he is special forces. So he literally has done shoot houses thousands of times, right? So he should know everyone, I would say every PFC and above, E3, a year in the Army, infantryman knows, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't be on the catwalk if there's a live fire going on, or hey, we're never going to index high, right? Never going
Right. I don't know if they have some sort of safety brief, but do you think Tim, I don't think Tim believes any of this stuff as he's walking around one-handed shooting with lasers and lights. I mean, he's got to be like, this is just nonsense, guys.
Yeah, and it's the same thing we talked about to open up this whole video. you don't judge people based on you judge people based on what they've done for you today or how they act today. If me and you are cool forever and today you're an asshole to me, I'm just gonna be like, hey man, you're an asshole. So Tim Kennedy, whatever, thank you for your service, dude. Like, you've done a lot of good stuff, I'm sure, allegedly. But if you're being an asshole today and saying stupid stuff with a Viz laser 22 pistol and flagging people actively in a wood shoot house in a barn, you're an asshole. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Multicam says, yeah, the Heisenberg dummy in the shoot house is should have given him the gun.
It gets even better from here. This is.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet, where they throw in like all sorts of crazy environmental hazards.
Let's go. I want to see it.
Environment. Even in this half light, it was difficult to see who has a firearm and who doesn't.
So I come to my next door. It's a pull door. I don't want to be caught naked here as I'm checking the condition of my gun in case somebody opens it. So we just offer this suggestion: a simple foot trap at the bottom of the door. Somebody barreling through it ain't going to stop, but a casual or maybe a little more aggressive, it's going to give you that chance to move out of the way. My right shoulder's against the wall. I use my right foot. If I use my left, I trap the gun against the wall. Somebody comes in behind me, I can swing and hit them. So I check the condition of my gun.
I watched that again.
Behind me,
Poor
I can swing
cameraman.
and hit them. I trap the gun against the wall.
God.
That is
Somebody comes in behind me, I can swing.
Wait, okay.
that is a weird swing. I just don't like it all that much. Yeah, I just don't like. GB Gun says, I know camera angles can make things look off, but it sure looks like he keeps flagging his foot.
I mean,
There's some of that's probably true to be real, but that's just that's insane. I never in my life when doing like shoot houses or anything have I ever been taught to do that kind of retard shit. Compress the weapon against the door in case a guy runs in next to you and you get him. Like, I don't know. Fucking, that's insane to me. And he looked like he flagged the guy there.
So it all seems to be appealing to somebody who doesn't know anything and hasn't really shot guns much, right? Because any competent shooter, if you tell them, okay, now we're going to shoot one hand offhand with light and laser, you'd be like, why? Why would I ever do that? You know?
This is the equivalent of like somebody just thought it up one day.
One hand offhand with light, laser, and suppressor. But we're focusing on the civilian aspect of training.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, semi-automatic.
It feels like some kind of weird amalgamation of like what maybe special forces training was back in the day a little bit with lasers and stuff with that. It mixed with this like modern hype. Like, I don't know how old this video is.
It's 3 weeks ago.
I trapped the gun.
This came out this year. However, the gentleman on the right, who's the instructor, him and Tim met each other like 16 years ago. So this would have been like 2008, 2009 timeframe when the older gentleman got out. So it is actually possible that these are just, tactics from 2 decades ago that he's just regurgitated and evolved into his own training course. And
it really does feel like some kind of 80s, 90s type of, tactics mixed with some, how do I make what I learned modern? How do I reinvent the wheel but make it gayer? Like, that's kind of what this is coming off to me right now, but that's just my opinion.
You can see that the wood in the shoot house there, a lot of it is exposed to the outdoor elements, and almost all of it is still shiny new. It doesn't have hardly any patina on it whatsoever. Now, could it all be sealed very well? Probably. Sure. Are they having that many people come through that they have to replace the boards that often? I don't see that happening. I think this is a new venture for this gentleman. And I think he most likely, possibly, allegedly may have hired Tim, old buddy Tim, to come out and do a run through and try and give him a positive business launch. I'm not sure. I have no evidence to support this. This is just my wild theory. But I seen somebody in chat. I'd pay $50 to do this. I would too. I'd pay $100 to go and do this. I wouldn't pay.
If I needed to pay $100 to do this training, somebody just said it perfectly. This is the kind of training that's needed to eliminate people that live on dirt floors. This isn't. I don't know. I fail to see how this is like geared towards civilians. It's a little. It's over the top silly. I don't know.
It gets even worse. It gets even worse.
Let's stop pausing. Let's watch it through so I can.
Well,
actually...
we have to.
The gun
We
against
have
the
to
wall.
cut it a little.
Somebody comes in behind me, I can swing and hit them. So I check the condition of my gun, move my foot back, arm back. There's corner 1, follow me through. Corner 2, corner 3. They're holding the laser on, bang, bang, bang. Here's my next door. Right foot trap, check the condition of my gun. If I'm good to go, pull out. The reason I pull the door handles up high is to prevent that. And it's just a safety mechanism. Corner 1, corner 2, corner 3. There's my bad guy. Hold the laser in that circle using all available real estate.
That was not a 45-degree offset.
Nope, not even close.
That
circle.
That is not a 45-degree
all available real estate to get around.
Of course, once I start getting the hang of it, in the sterile kind of CQB layout, Travis ups the difficulty once by taking me
See, now you actually have to clear the trap house
to a different and much more difficult building.
And we all know that
everything
people
is
play
decorated.
cards in the middle of the dark with no lighting in a completely smoke-filled room.
This looks like some e-girl's room that's hotbox with the red
This
light.
looks like a fucking fever dream. What in the fuck am I looking at?
It's about to get wild.
This is what it's like to hang out with X-Ray Alpha.
Hell yeah, baby.
Like
Just
real rooms,
pedigree
real
all the way.
scenarios,
I'm going to
with
get another
furniture,
drink.
paintings, and lights. The audio supports kind of what is happening in each of these scenarios. It's way more complex. There's smoke and sounds. It's a ton of fun.
Ooh, that smoke is tough.
Travis does an incredible job here trying to overwhelm.
See, this looks like a freaking like horror movie where there's like one mannequin that's real and you're like going through this house or something.
Did Rob Zombie also help build this fucking shit?
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely looks like a haunted house combined with a shoot house. It's like this. He definitely takes a break from October 1st to November 1st and sets it up.
It's like he's taking mannequins from his house. He's repurposing them. He's buying them for Halloween every year. Damn.
Yeah.
A scene from an CP. Yeah, exactly.
John, if we could run it back to the beginning here of this one, and we'll run it through because I do want to try and clip this as one cohesive clip.
Final level of Condemned, Criminal Origins. Yeah. Must have ray tracing on. Yeah, the graphics do look great. Okay, we'll let the shoot house play out because the shoot house is the best part.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, wrong button.
More difficult building where everything is decorated. It's to simulate real rooms with real scenarios with furniture, paintings, and lights. The audio supports kind of what is happening in each of these scenarios. It's way more complex. There's smoke and sounds. It's a ton of fun.
Ooh, that smoke is tough.
Travis does an incredible job here trying to overwhelm the attendees, the trainees, with all of their senses. It's just difficult when it's loud, when there's different smells, different sights, where you have opposing threats. Does this person have a gun? Do they not have a gun? Do they have a cell phone? Do they have a camera? And the tunnel vision gets real. Like sensory overload starts happening when there's too much information to process from too many senses.
1, 2, 3. Ah!
You know, this definitely hurts. So that's a police officer.
So that is why I put the cop mannequin in the thumbnail, is because Tim bursts through the door, smokes the cop, and continues on. Oh, that was amazing.
If there was ever any such value ever, it is so far gone. At some points, he goes into the room, he's aiming at the mannequin for like 15 seconds, and he's like, "Oh, it's a gun." Bang.
Yeah, every other one he took
Look
his
at
sweet
this.
time
Look at
on.
this. Do we have a time this one? Time this one. So he's in the room. He's in the room.
Process from too many senses.
Oh my God, it's a gun.
2, 3. Ah!
That's the sound I make when I accidentally shoot the wrong person. Ah, darn it.
It's the fucking sound I make when I take a shit. So,
Does USCCA cover this? I gotta know.
When you're dealing with this many people in a building with guns, and you're a civilian, I need to know who you pissed off, for one. 2, maybe you deal with this with an artillery shell. Otherwise, I don't like this is so silly.
That's where you're wrong. He's trying to find his pedigree in that building. He knows if he clears that building, he gets maximum pedigree.
Yeah, well,
He's still
if
got
he's
one
trying
more
to
room to clear.
market this, either he does the high speed like I'm Tim Kennedy thing, and he like fucking he should have just like not said anything about the cop. Pop, pop, went into the room. Great marketing. Nobody would have known. But him taking his time and all, it's just it's just so fucking gay. Anyway, continue.
He took so much time on everybody else, and then as soon as he sees the cop,
Sees the cop based on what? Reddit?
You know, maybe actually it's his crack house, and so he just went into, you know, like protection.
He's defending his meth lab.
Chicago warfare at its finest.
Chicago warfare. Yeah.
All right, here we go. One more time.
3.
Right in the heart,
This definitely
too.
hurts. So that's a police officer. Yeah, clearly wearing uniform. He's got the hat. He's got the badge. He's got the jacket. But the first thing I saw was a firearm. So I saw him with a gun, put one round center mass. Like this is the point of doing training in tough environments with lots of sensory overload. It just puts you under pressure to hopefully make bad decisions. And you want to make bad decisions while you're training. Having been the first time into this, it was absolutely perfect, and ultimately made a catastrophic mistake shooting somebody else responding to this scenario, a dude in blue.
I think
so
the
I just
person who
got
made a
done
mistake was the guy who walked into that room right after he just shot a cop, and then showed up in his blind spot in that corner when he turned his back. That could have ended real bad.
I mean, I don't think Tim is actually going to shoot a person moving around in there. I don't think he's like, you get into that meme where it's like PTSD kicks in and you think you're back in Afghanistan, wherever, and you just start like going crazy or whatnot with the smoke and the lights and the sounds and whatnot. But no, I don't think he was actually going to shoot that.
He's practicing killing the ANA that were a problem for him. Maybe, I don't know. Those Afghani National Army guys.
So what's the crime? What's the real crime? Is the crime that Tim Kennedy did this? Is the crime that they even made this at all? Or is the crime that four adults, males, are watching this right now on a Saturday night, drinking our whiskey and laughing at this dude and his Viz laser?
Well, we're not the only ones who did this. Several other channels also had some issues with this, and we'll get to the comments here in a minute. But I think the issue is, one, how it was marketed, and 2, the price.
Well,
and you said the price was $1,200, right? $1,200.
$1,100. I think it's $1,150.
Yeah, I'm signing up tonight. If someone can give me a link.
Yeah, hold on, I'll check it.
Truth number 4: Tim's off the team. Yeah, I think the problem with it is like it's just bad on every level. It's marketing. Like, obviously, it's marketing. What's actually in the video is really bad. And then on top of it, it's Tim Kennedy, who has a habit of lying about everything. And so it's just everything comes together to make like the world's worst CQB video, right? And that's what makes it hilarious.
Guys, what if we split up the cost between it's fucking no. So all 4 of us go.
No, they have multiple person options, but it's going to cost $2,500 for all 4 of us to go.
Expensive.
Oh, well, it sounds like we should all split the cost and go wreck this fucking course.
Wait, hold on. I'm only going to go if you shoot the cop and mowing like Tim Kennedy did.
I'm bringing this SKS if I can.
Oh,
I'm bringing a Mauser.
No.
Honestly, a bayonet might have been more effective in there.
Probably.
Yeah. Listen, you get the cheapest white light, you tape it to the SKS, extend the bayonet, and just start freaking bayoneting everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nicky Dicky says if this was sponsored by SDI, it would hit the trifecta. Exactly.
Sonoran Desert Institute.
No, it's better. It's sponsored by FM.
Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry. For 4 of us to go, it would be $3,300. I'm sorry.
So what is that between 4 of us? I'm dumb. I'm not educated like some of you. What is that between 4 people?
$625. $650.
Come on, we can do that. Let's go.
Well, we got to. That's plane tickets. That's time off, doing other things. I mean, although it would make killer content.
It would.
It would make absolutely great content.
I sent you the link in chat in the private chat.
Oh,
John,
yeah.
if you want to pull it up and see.
I'm gonna send him an email. Like,
Imagine me
what?
I take leave from work to fly there and use their 22 pistol, and it's just
No.
Do a GoFundMe. Yeah. Hey.
They have the red dot.
oh no.
They have the airsoft laser.
Hell
units.
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, that's probably the only time those are acceptable is on 22s or airsoft guns. So, they got to get there. They got to get those sponsor shout outs somehow.
I don't know who this old lady is, and I'm glad that she's out. Probably not what I would use for my marketing material. An old lady in a mask, dual wielding.
With 3 chins.
Well, yeah, and holding onto the light as a foregrip on your pistol. Probably not what I would do.
I mean, she's an old woman. What do you want? What do you want from her?
Whoa, what happened there? What is going on?
Hell yeah, Hoffs. Hey, that's my wife. You better fucking watch her now.
Hey, liberal.
Listen here, liberal. That woman can
Oh,
handle
yeah.
some iron.
So you stay in the cabin. For 2 of us, it would be $16.50.
What is in this cabin? Where is this cabin?
Hopefully, lots of alcohol.
The cabin is in the Appalachian Mountains. It is in. Let me see exactly where at. I thought it was West Virginia, but I could be wrong. Give me 1 second.
Well, see, this is another element of it that I really don't like. It's,
What is going on?
These young women that are being taught how to shoot like this for some reason, and it's like, can you just teach them how to actually shoot, please?
So it keeps going on down. There's more than just home defense 1. There's home defense 1, home defense 2, urban defense, public defense, vehicle
Public
defense.
defense.
Yeah, public defense is what you're
What
going to
the
need
fuck
after you
is
shoot
that?
the cop because you're broke.
Yeah.
Vehicle defense, practical precision, practical exercise. It goes on and on. They provide a lot of different supposed courses. It is in Tennessee, Shady Valley, Tennessee. Very shady.
Vehicle CQB is
Why are
the
you going
biggest.
why are you going into the school bus to shoot people?
That
Hey,
is
look, man.
the
Hey, they were
only
talking
place
some
you can
shit.
shoot people.
They needed to go.
Trying to relive your high school days.
Yeah. You ever been bullied?
Dude, vehicle CQB is the single biggest sham gimmick in the 2A community. Every time I see someone beep appendix carry, okay, they're carrying appendix. They draw the gun, they shoot through the windshield, they shoot through every window in the car, they crawl out one of the windows, they run to the trunk and grab a random carbine that's in the trunk. It's like, dude, you would have been dead 50.
Yeah.
ATAC training.
I'll be right back.
Pretty humbling. There wasn't a perfect run in there. I've been shooting for a long time, and I'm still learning in every single corner. And having Travis give me new nuggets, as he was calling it, morsels of information that give you maybe a little bit more advantage than you had a few seconds ago.
Right.
The firearms industry, maybe we've had it wrong for a really long time. And in here, you get to learn new ways, new approaches, using new senses, some that you'd never use anywhere else. You have something really special here, Travis.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is just change the paradigm. As we saw out across the firearms training industry, the firearms training industry exclusively uses templates for military and police to train. And as we don't have body armor.
I just disagree with that. Most training is basic training, which is what you need. You need to execute the fundamentals at a high level when it comes to shooting. Like as Trench has talked about, there is such a wide variety of things that go into being a prepared, capable person. Very little of that is actually shooting. But when you want to learn about how to get good at shooting, just practice the shooting stuff and everything else kind of falls into place.
Yeah, get a shot timer, set up paper targets, have a way to shot timer to measure your time and actually measure your hits, alphas, charlies, whatever, and actually write down or record it on a camera and, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, shooting is such a small part of this whole thing. And this is just bad shooting training and bad tactics training.
It's bad shooting, it's bad tactics, and it's $1,200, right?
It's insane.
Armor, extra ammo, arm backup, medical backup, or qualified immunity. Why would we want to train like military and police when really our primary objective is not to be shot, not necessarily to put all our eggs in one basket and shoot the threat?
Yeah, in that MET-TC mindset of mission anytime terrain.
Oh, yes, the cop-out, MET-TC. So really briefly, MET-TC is a cop-out for any leader in the Army. maneuver leader, mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops, and civilian considerations. METTC. That's a cop out answer for anything. Oh, it's METTC dependent. It's like it's a meme, right?
Well, John, I don't know where you're getting your ammo for, but ammo prices are going down. It's like 45 cents a round right now for 5.56. So $1,200 is nearly 3,000 rounds of 5.56. So $1,200 is a lot of training value. I mean, $1,200 is a $600 class, which is still expensive, and 1,500 rounds of ammo, right? So $1,200 is insane.
Yeah.
I'm not running towards the center.
Oh, my bad, dude. Somebody commented METTC is mill speak for I don't know, bro. It depends. Yeah, METTC is like a literal in my community in the infantry. METTC is like a actual meme. Or if you don't know the answer, you say, "Oh, it's METTC dependent."
Gotcha. Everybody's kind of ammo seek. If you want ammo, go to ammo seek. They have the best prices listed with shipping costs. So go there if you
True.
want. That's where I go 99% of the time.
Get away. And protect my family.
Right.
What I loved is having to use senses. I'm not going to give it away because you have to take this. You have to come check out ATAC training. But
Do not come.
For example, as
Do
we're
not
going
come.
through getting lots of reps and new rounds and additional iterations, the rooms are completely modular. You're able to lengthen them, make them deep and shallow. Then we go over into the house and do scenario-based training. You'll go in one room and you'll have a bunch of shoots and then a no shoot. The very next room, if you just don't take a second pregnant pause and listen, you're going to go in there and make a terrible mistake.
Did you say pregnant pause?
I thought that's what I heard.
I don't know what's happening.
Is that just like a Garantham thing?
Yo,
If you just
getting
don't
a
take
sub
second
moment.
So many
you'll have a
loads.
bunch of shoots and then a no shoot. The very next room, if you just don't take a second pregnant pause and listen,
Pregnant pause. Do not come.
And again, not to ruin it, but like you're going to have to use all of your senses.
That's right.
There's fog, there's screaming, there's sounds, there's laughing, there's shoots, no shoots. So it's a lot. It's a lot to process, but it's priceless. When I say priceless, I truly mean priceless. This is training that could save your life. Come check out ATAC. Come shoot with Travis. It's been 16 years since I've got to see him. And
I wonder what he really thinks after not seeing this guy for 16 years, coming to his new shoot house, and then going over this like 3-4 hours of shooting. And
Dude,
then
He said, "Hey, bud.
disappointed.
So how?" He's like, "So check the check.
how big?
How
was it?
many zeros?" That's what's going through. Hey, FN is writing on this. My sponsorship with FN is writing on this. You better not fuck it up. That's what happened.
Oh, I should have. Let me pull up that link again because I'm actually curious now. In the other footage, oh, see, that's funny. You're right. So in the other footage, they're all using the Mark IV pistols, but with Tim Kennedy, they specifically had the FN pistols on. I wonder if that's like contractual. Is Tim's like,
Oh,
guys,
it has to be, dude.
we're
It
gonna
has
break
to be.
pistols
He's
for
shooting 5.7. He's shooting the 5.7. Oh, it's got to be 22, sir. Basically is. He's just shooting the 5.7 through everything.
Yeah, actually, no. J-Jax, he's right. He got paid. It doesn't fucking matter at that point. He's helping his boy out. He got paid for it. Just make sure FN looks good and idiots want to sign up for this. That's really all that matters.
All right,
Listen here, Haas.
Let's go
To the
through some of
comments?
these comments because these comments are hilarious. So the pinned comment on this video that is 2 weeks old. This is on Tim Kennedy's YouTube channel. The pinned comment is from Tim Kennedy, of course. Big thanks to ATAC for having us out and letting us experience their incredible 360-degree live fire shoot house. Their training is next level. And if you're serious about building real world skills, you've got to check them out. Head over to https- I'm not going to read that out, tacticalcourse.com for more info. So yeah, it's an ad, right? The
This
pinned
whole thing
comment.
is cringe.
Tim Kennedy, 19, and love my AR-15 because I'm pretty sure that Tim Kennedy was one of the guys that said you should be 21 or over to own an AR-15. So that's the top comment underneath. Stolen Valor. All the replies are gorgeous. Please address the recent accusations of stolen valor. Anti-Hero Podcast would like to have a word with you. A bunch of Spanish spam.
Translate the Spanish spam.
Hello, sir. Invest in Dogecoin, sir.
Just the one that I translated is, you killed a police officer, sweating emoji. Really great situation, Travis. Wow, magnificent concepts. Too important to train in several complex situations. Great, bravo. So much detail. The reflexes are instinct, nothing better. You have to be inventive to take on lots of challenges. Like Tim Kennedy said, you have to be a Swiss Army knife. 100 US heart emoji.
Sounds like
No
an Indian.
punctuation. That was amazing.
It sounds like a Johnny Q comment. I'm gonna be honest.
Never go full Kennedy, says Bob. How many mistruths are in this video? A lot. There are a lot of problems in this video.
We know there were 3 truths, but how
Well,
many mistruths?
Well, we didn't even hear 3 of them. We only heard did Vintage just die?
I just died. No, we're good.
Is this
Killed
filtered
Austin.
by?
I was grabbing a piece of scrim and it was under the mount.
That happens.
Yo, is this filtered by the vest?
Sorry. We are going to talk about, actually, Vintage, I do want to have you on to talk about the Gundies if you're up for it at some point. But
how long are you going to be streaming for? Because I got to charge my phone for like 10 minutes on a lightning cable.
I'll be around. We have the Instagram nonsense to get into as well. But Randy reviews it.
Do I have 10 minutes to fucking charge the phone and then hop back on?
Go for it. Do it. Do it.
Sweet. All right.
But,
Later, Reddit. I'll be right back.
So what did Johnny Q get nominated? Richard, could you check what Johnny Q got nominated for the Gundy for? Because I wonder if him and Vintage are going up against each other. That would be funny. But going back to the comments, levels the house with grenades. Yes, of course. Any plans on making an appearance on the Anti-Hero podcast? Probably not. Tim, no grenades. Kennedy isn't so much of a star in this video. Me, when I spread misinformation on the internet. No children were harmed in the making of this video. Yeah, because that's a reference to Tim Kennedy throwing grenades into a room full of women and children.
What is that all about?
So in his book, which the Anti-Hero guys went over on their podcast, there's a section in there where there was like a gunner in a room, apparently, and from like 80 feet away, he lobs a grenade into the room, but there were also women and children barricaded in there as well. And so later on, he goes through there and sees all the dead bodies. No idea if any of that actually ever happened. His one witness for that is dead.
Okay.
So it's one of those stories. There's all these crazy stories that involve him and this one buddy of his who unfortunately passed away. And that guy who passed away is his witness for all the craziest stories, like taking shots with a 408 Shytac at like 1,200 yards, 1,200 meters or something like that, which never happened at the Firebase Anaconda, as far as I remember in that podcast. But all of his witnesses for these crazy stories are this gentleman who is unfortunately now dead. So he uses his name to validate all of his craziest stories, which is always just a little...
Yeah.
It's a little, yeah. Tim Mooney said it's not a war crime if it's the first time.
And it just comes down to that point of like, why are we embellishing? Just live your, just do your thing, live your life. Why are we embellishing anything?
I don't get that, because as I think you mentioned it earlier, Vintage mentioned it earlier, like he's done cool things, right?
Yeah. He's got a Green Beret. I don't know if he's Ranger tabbed, but he's got a Green Beret. He's a senior NCO. Like,
he passed sniper school. He's done lots of cool things, but his need for validation, his need for it's been described as like he's like a movie star, the main character of his own movie. And that's how everything is elevated in the book when he talks about things. And then if you go into different podcasts that he's done, his story has changed over the years, which some of that might just be misremembering things. That could be normal. But when it's written down in a book and vetted and edited, that's a little strange.